This video is going to be part 3 of the mid-range Tiger Paladin, but I wanted to talk very briefly at the beginning to call attention to some of the changes I made to the deck. I wanted to try out Prince Keleseth because Keleseth tends to be good in mid-range decks, but this deck actually has to sacrifice a lot for Keleseth. I had to cut the Call to Arms package, and I'm not playing Equality anymore. So a pretty hefty price, but it did mean that I had room for more 1-drops, more 3-drops, and more of the bigger spells like Spikered Steed and Dino-Size. I think I was playing a combined 3 of those earlier, and now there's also an Avenging Wrath. So I think this version's probably going to be worse than Equality plus Call to Arms, but I figured I would give it a shot. Probably Odd Rogue. I haven't seen a non-Odd Rogue in a while. Hey, Drew Keleseth. Kelly's good. Toss the Righteous Protector. I only need one 1-drop, and the Righteous Protector is a better draw later on.
None will survive.
He does indeed play Baku the Moon Eater. No surprise there. Tortoise is a bit sketchy against Odd Rogue. Don't really want to lose 5 of my life against them, but the 3/5 also puts in a lot of work. Keleseth on 2. Can hit here. Doesn't really seem like it does anything. Like, it sets up for Keleseth to kill this, but he's gonna dagger into Keleseth 100%. Hey, a 2/2 Righteous Protector? It's pretty good, but it's gonna die here. Probably don't find many opportunities to play the Tortoise. So this turn, hitting here makes a little bit more sense because I get to cash in half of this guy's health before he gets daggered. He's gonna play a 3-drop this turn. Doesn't seem like he'll want to dagger the Tortoise. I think this hit makes a little bit of sense, but really not a ton. Tar Creeper's pretty big. It's just like my Tortoise, but instead of dealing 5 damage to his face, it has Taunt. So I can play my Spirit of the Tiger here. Doesn't really seem like it gets that much done. So I guess I'm just gonna play this stuff. He can bump the Mole, or I guess the Tar Creeper if he really wants, and then dagger into this guy. But that's 2 of his 4 mana, he doesn't get to play a 3-drop along with that unless he coins. But it seems a little bit awkward for him, protects this guy from getting daggered as well. Just seems like a good turn to get it in play. He is going to coin a 3. Not a Hench Clan Thug, obviously. Takes my entire board to kill these Tar Creepers, which I don't love. Let's keep this Wind Fury guy around and try to steed him next turn. I don't want to play my 1/2 because currently he doesn't have a dagger target, and turn 7 guy plus Spikered Steed seems like it might end up being a play. Probably just going to steed my 0/3 though. True Silver. Nope. So he has to use his buffed weapon plus his minion to kill my 2/6, which is good.
This guy's toast.
Seemed like a pretty bad SI7 agent. Could play Corpse Taker here over True Silver, but True Silver is just a full clear. Seems really appealing.
for justice.
It's possible I was even supposed to go a bit aggressive here and send this 6 to face. I have a True Silver up and a Dino Size in my hand. But it looks like with this line, I'm still threatening lethal with the Dino Size. So this seems fine. It's not a very impressive bird. Boom, Dino Size.
Uther versus Uther. I will fight with honor. I will command the light.
Alright, boys. I'm 8 and 9. Let's see if this game we can pull it up to a 50% win rate. And I think the Tortoise is the one to do it, so we're going to keep him. I'm liking the look of this hand so far. My opponent didn't do anything to his hero power, so he's probably trying to Holy Wrath me. Does that mean I coin out my Tortoise? Probably not. Probably want to coin out my Corpse Taker next turn. Try to Blessing of Kings it. Let's go Flame Elemental over hero power so we can value trade over his hero power. Crystology is a pretty good card, I've heard. It's not possible for him to answer Corpse Taker this turn, right? So it should get in there for 14. He didn't play a Righteous Protector last turn off the Crystology, but it was a pretty bad board for it, so he might still have it. But even then he has to deal with... He'd have to like consecrate this turn, eat 14, and then try to block with it next turn, maybe?
The light dims, but we fight.
Man, Kangor is so annoying, but I'm just going to ignore it and hit him for 14. With the second Blessing of Kings pickup, this might just still be lethal. Even if he goes like Flash of Light or whatever. My guy has Divine Shield, so his guy doesn't actually get the lifesteal with combat. Wow, he has to cast Time out here. Sucks to be him. Well, I guess I'm killing his Kangor.
That's not a valid target.
Chill out. Chill out.
Is there any reason for me to throw a Blessing of Kings on my guy here? 6 damage is pretty hard to deal. Even if he like YOLO Holy Wraths, there's nothing in his deck that does 6 that doesn't deal 10, right? It's not like he can Shrivala this turn. I think I'm just gonna do this. Get some attacks in play so that I can bust through a second Righteous Protector. And then I have the second Blessing of Kings to hopefully lethal them.
I wonder. Do you like to play with fire?
Quality Pyro. Sure. I say sure like it's not a big deal, but it's gonna be pretty hard to win from here. But Spirit into a new Challenger is a pretty good way to potentially get there. And with Dino Size and Blessing of Kings, I do have damage if stuff ever sticks to my board.
Reporting for duty.
Wow. Consecrates there. That's pretty interesting, actually. I could go Blessing of Kings instead of Dino, or instead of a new Challenger, but it doesn't like set up lethal for Dino Size or anything. This just seems better. So it's obviously not the middle guy. I feel like I'm pretty content with my guy being frozen after he kills my opponent. So Frozen Crusher, I'll have a 7/7 plus Dino size. It does seem kind of hard to find a situation where this extra 2 damage, 1 health matters over the Boulder Fist. But it's also kind of hard to imagine that my guy attacks and the opponent doesn't die. Actually, I guess the health is a thing against Shirvala, but we're pre-Shirvala right now. I don't know. I'll take an 8/8. Who cares? Two damage. There's the timeout. So probably don't want to play Dino Size here since it does no damage. Probably just make a board. Force him to find that other equality. None of these seem particularly good. I mean, Warbear has Rush. Rush is cool. If I take one of the other dudes, I can play it instead of the Ornery Tortoise here. Tortoise does put me into range of the second Holy Wrath, which is maybe an unnecessary risk.
Access denied.
Let's go for this line, I suppose. Prismatic Lens. Trying to find the Consecration or Pyro to pair with his equality. He did hit a 2 with his Holy Wrath last turn, but I guess the deck probably plays a lot of 2s, right?
It's time to test your metal.
Alright. So I don't have lethal through Shirvala. Wow, he's not going to bounce it or shuffle it or anything. So I have 19 here, right? Dino Size, a 1 power guy. That's 19. Blessing of Kings plus True Silver is 1 less. Could set him to 4. I've seen Kangor. It's pretty likely he would have like a Flash of Light as well. He would have played Flash of Light that turn if he had it. But just setting him to 4 with that thing in play seems kind of sketchy.
The battle.
So he's on the Death Knight plan to kill me now, which gives me a lot of time. But if he just plays Uther, it might actually be kind of hard for me to beat. No, he'll need to find the equality to deal with the second Dino Size.
The light's justice has failed.
I believe he just ends the turn at 22, right? Because he takes 10, heals 10. I have 17. I mean, I probably just push it, force him to find the other equality. If he does have the equality here, his health plus weapon is 15. My True Silvers deal 16. But it does take a lot of time to get there, and he still has double Flash of Light.
I hope you like my invention.
Oh, he plays Shrink Ray. That's rough. But this does give me a Blessing of Kings target, potentially. Which is a lot better than just getting equality cleared.
The light dims.
Ah, Righteous Protector. So I think my plays here are double Tortoise True Silver, push 4, trade these off into his 1/1, or I can go True Silver Blessing of Kings Hero Power, push 5. I think the Tortoise play is just better.
The battle of justice must move quickly.
I've played both of my Dino Sizes, which is a serious bummer. But I have a lot of damage, and he's gone through a lot of his healing. And his win condition at this point is going to take at least 4 turns.
We hunger for vengeance
Okay, so he gets to clear my board here. That means no Blessing of Kings target.
No peace, no rest. With me, friend.
He's playing the Brewmaster build. Alright, so his weapon's gone, he's at 11, and my weapons deal 12.
For justice. Reporting for duty is found in death.
I guess I'm playing a Blessing of Kings here. If I don't play it, there's not going to be a thing to target next turn. Not one that can attack anyway. Prismatic Lens. Getting low on cards, right? Fatigue might even help me out a bit, although I guess he's got Baleful Bankers still. Okay. Got the equality for my 5/5.
Azeroth will be purified. Let's stash that away.
Okay, I think this is actually kind of a big decision. Do I Steed here, or just True Silver him? He has a Flash of Light left, right? I think I just Steed here. If he doesn't heal, this is lethal anyway, right? 3+4.
The time has come. I return.
Such a perfect specimen.
So he has 2 Horsemen in hand. This one in deck as well. Flash of Lights.
I'm out of cards.
I have 7, I need to deal 10. Looks like Avenging Wrath is my only potential lethal out here.
Play with fire.
Maybe a new challenger gets there or something. Ho ho! I mean, there's no other play, right? I'm just dead next turn if I don't hit him 3 times. Upstairs, Avenging Wrath. I don't think he got there. 1 off. Shit. Man, that game was actually really close. I'm pretty sure he has the Horseman, but I wasn't paying that much attention.
The time has come. I return.
Azeroth will be purified.
No peace.
Yep.
No rest. Well played. Death.
Wonder if I could have gotten in more damage anywhere. I started today's recording totally expecting the Keleseth version of this deck to bomb, but it actually performed reasonably well, especially considering that I only drew Keleseth a couple of times. I was really worried about the lack of equality, but with the extra 1-drops and extra 3-drops, your early game is just more solid, so you have less need to clear a board from the opponent. And similarly, because you actually have stuff to do in the early turns, you don't miss the call to arms as much as I would have expected. Because yeah, you don't get the power spike on turn 5, but you already have stuff in play. However, there is a bit of awkwardness with this deck. Without Equality being in here, Consecration and Avenging Wrath just aren't very good cards. But I feel a little bit weird cutting them, because you do need a certain amount of stuff to discount Shirvala and fuel the Spirit of the Tiger. But we do have 8 other high cost spells in the deck, so maybe there is a world where I can get away with cutting those. But ultimately, if I'm making any more changes to the deck, I think I'm going back to the version that I was playing in Part 2. It was similar to the version I was playing in Part 1, but I made my 2-drops more aggressive with the Amani Berserkers. I made sure to get a Wind Fury guy in here for my Corpse Takers. I think this was absent at the very beginning of Part 1. And I think the major change I made was I ended up cutting the Arcane Tyrants. It's really sick to play it alongside Call to Arms or whatever on turn 5, but it turns out a lot of times you go like Spirit of the Tiger into Call to Arms plus Arcane Tyrant, and they just AoE it, and your Tyrant just kind of died for free, because they would have had to AoE the Call to Arms board anyway. So of the versions I played, I think this one ended up being the best. It was a bit of a small sample size, but I did go 8 and 4 with this build, and it felt pretty strong. I just wish somehow I could find room for the second Steed and the second Blessing of Kings.